Down for first reading. The House now comes to questions for oral answer, and the first question stands in the name of Simon Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question to the Minister of Finance asks, what are the government's priorities for the economy in its second term?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the government intends to get back to surplus and manage the government's finances. Very well. We intend to continue to develop a more competitive economy because we have to earn a living in the next 10 years rather than borrow it as we did in the last 10 years. And the government intends to rebuild Christchurch. And our final top priority is to improve public services across the board so New Zealanders get better service for the same or less resources.
Simon Bridges.
Supplementary to the Minister. What challenges does New Zealand's economy face?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the fundamental challenge is the same now as it was 2 or 3 years ago, which is to rebalance this economy from excessive resources in the non-tradable sector to the tradable sector. The build-up of much of the growth of the last 10 years was built on borrowed money going into an uncompetitive domestic economy. In the next 10 years, we have to earn our living by investing in a competitive export sector.
Simon Bridges.
How does the government intend to tackle the economic challenges?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, in the same considered and balanced way as it did in its first term of office, but I think New Zealanders share with the government the determination to make real progress over the next few years so that we can have more jobs and higher incomes.
The Honourable David Parker.
Did the briefing he received as incoming minister from his chief economic advisers in the Treasury project that under his government's economic settings, New Zealand's net international liabilities will increase by nearly 10% of GDP over the next 5 years, an increase of approximately $25 billion?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, that may have been their projection. I'll have to go and check. We, of course, want to continue with a significant improvement in recent years in our net international liabilities. I'm somewhat more optimistic than the Treasury because I think New Zealanders have learned the lesson that more borrowing and excessive borrowing is not the way for them to get better incomes. And if they refrain from excessive borrowing, then our prospect and more saving and get into higher savings, the prospects of that projection coming to pass are less.
Simon Bridges.
What signs of progress has he seen in the economy?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, just to give a couple of signs, the economy has grown for 9 of the last 10 quarters, and the forecasts for growth in this economy are stronger than the US, Europe and quite a number of other developed countries. And secondly, some of the more detailed changes the government is making are bearing fruit. For instance, on the 1st of April, there will be a $600 million reduction in ACC levies because the government in the last 3 years applied itself to turning ACC around. That's an example of what can be achieved with public services.
Question number 2, David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr.